Today we have a fantastic panel of speakers lined up for you. Welcome to the OKR Consortium event, where key results become objectives.
All right, thanks everyone for joining today. I know it's a beautiful weather in Amsterdam. It's very rare, so I'm very happy that everyone's here today, not outside. I will go ahead first. So I'm not going to share any successful benchmark story today. It's not going to be any shortcut to a magic story about OKRs, not at all. But I'm going to just walk through what I've learned through during my OKR journey. So hope that actually fulfills your need as well. So show of your hands first. Who here has ever implemented OKRs in your career? Okay, cool, quite a lot. And who never has any challenges implementing OKRs? Never. Wow. One person, never. Amazing. I want to work there. Joke. So one disclaimer. So I do have several slides. I try to put concrete examples. I try to hide a bit as well, but still there might be some confidential kind of things. So I will not be able to share everything I'm going to show you, but please keep it for yourself if you take pictures. Anyway, I will introduce about me a bit. So I'm originally from South Korea. I'm based in Amsterdam, and I love new challenges, and I love all these opportunity to learn. So a bit of proof, I never made kimchi in my life in Korea. Of course not. And then thanks to COVID here, now I'm a kimchi making master. And I also mastered bouldering, lead climbing. So yeah, there is a bit of muscle I've gained thanks to this. And I became a driver finally in this most cyclist-friendly city in the world. 17 years after I got a license. So I'm proud of myself. I started ballet this year too. Very basic level still, but I got inspired by my 3-year-old niece living in Seoul. So yeah, it's about me. So I think you already got a sense that I love adventures and challenges and so on. And about my OKR challenges, it began quite smoothly, to be honest. So I worked at global jewelry company, and their digital hub is based in Copenhagen. So I think I'm privileged to enjoy this very structured quarterly process. I had 2 dedicated coaches, and also there was a very well-balanced approach from top-down guide to this very well-balanced bottom-up participation. And then I joined JET, Just Eat Takeaway. I wish it worked like a charm as I experienced, but it wasn't really like the case. Still, we are improving a lot, but I can give you a bit more context in the next slides. So the story started last year. I joined JET last year, January, and we have this big, hairy, and audacious goal, which is called vision, and it's empower every food moment. Maybe I think to you it sounds a bit vague and broad because I felt it that way when I joined the company, but then I grasped the essence quickly because in the end, my product actually is very well dedicated to our partners, including restaurants and groceries. And we aim to make our partners better and happier every single day. That was clear. But then the thing is, we were going through reorg. So we were busy merging Just Eat and Takeaway product and tech people. So there was no dedicated vision strategy from the partner pillar. And also there was no OKR. And then obviously there was a very first version of OKRs that was shared by the leadership once the reorg stabilized. And then what I did was immediately copying, busy crafting to showcase to my stakeholders. To me, what mattered the most was to get this OKR, to go through this OKR as early as possible, show my roadmap, and then I convince the team what I'm doing. That was it. So I can show you a bit of artifacts. So in the left-hand side, this was the very first version of OKRs I've got from the leadership. I don't think you can see much, but to sum up, there was actually one very clear direction from the company to improve profitability, but still we have We had 6 objectives, and there were literally 3 to more than 5 key results sometimes in each objectives. So there was no sharper focus, as you can imagine. There was no measurable key result as well. And then I copied and pasted. Of course, I tweaked here and there with a key result, but still my focus was to align with the roadmap, but I didn't have any room to make it measurable or achievable. That was a shame, but that was the very first version, so we did our best. However, as you can imagine, it wasn't outcome-driven. And our company, especially our team, we really have a strong still ambition to be more outcome-driven. We want to make more data-informed decisions. So one day, my senior PM came to me. I think it was right before our H2 planning process, and she was like, Hyesung, we are not outcome-driven. We are a bit like a feature factory. And of course, it wasn't fulfilling, right? It was very unsatisfying. You don't want to hear this from your senior PM. And it's not about pleasing her, but also it was me. I was super motivated to change our organization, at least the domain which I'm leading. So I went back and I took a step back, and actually I found that what are we doing well, what are we not doing well. We were good at execution, but we were not measuring success properly. We were, like, for example, when it comes to H2 planning process, we got these P0s, top-down priorities from the leadership. We were busy addressing, but we never had a chance to look back properly. And we were not really measuring the success, what we were doing well, what we were not doing well. But instead, P0s were kind of feeding us for the planning. So that's what I tried to change differently. I was influenced by the book called Measure What Matters by John Doerr. I'm going to show you as well. Probably, I think some of you read that book as well. So yeah, that influenced me a lot. And also I tried to look back my time at the global jewelry company with 2 coaches. So my goal was to bring more tangible and practical OKRs that will measure what truly matters. But also I wanted to bring greater level of autonomy, excitement, and a smarter approach to measuring our success and product planning, which will ultimately achieve our vision, empower every food moment. So my trial and error looks like this, a bit like a roller coaster. And there was a lot of ups and downs as well. And long story short, I started with domain vision, mission, and strategy crafting job. So at that time, it was H1. After H1 planning, I went through this H1 OKR setup. And thankfully, I finalized my domain long-term vision and mission strategy. And at the same time, our leadership also finally shared partner pillar mission plus 2026, as well as OKRs, one-year OKRs. It was a huge list, and I had to translate them and I had to share with my PMs and engineers. As you can imagine, it's never easy, especially to be on the same page with engineer counterparts. Don't get me wrong, I love working with engineers, but it's always taking a lot of time and efforts to be on the same page in terms of understanding. For instance, we had our OKRs even until H1 2023. Product, tech, very separate. It caused a lot of misalignment, a lot of silos. Still we are going through, but it was even greater. So thanks to the book I read, I got inspired to have one OKR workshops together, sitting down with product managers as well as tech leads in each team. And also when there were collaborators, we also let them join. So designers, researchers, as well as product analysts, everyone joined together. And then we walked through we had this workshop. It was a 3-hour workshop in Sofia. It was beautiful weather as well. And everyone inside the office busy crafting the very first OKR. We couldn't come up with more than 2, of course. I think more than even 1, because it was the very first time. Very extensive one, but at least it brought a lot of purpose and meaning of what we are doing, what we are bringing for our partners. I've got a lot of constructive feedback as well. Hyesung, it was way too long. Hyesung, I didn't understand still what it was. It was way too much. We needed more examples. Fine, it was first time. It didn't have to be perfect. But then thankfully, after that, we finally started our OKR monthly check-in with a pilot process. So in July, we kicked off. And last month, actually a few weeks ago, we went through the second one. We are still navigating a lot of trials and errors. Still, there is a lot of output-driven statement, which is fine because some of the globalization initiatives we have focused definitely require a lot of output-driven activities. So that's what I went through. And maybe your eyes are getting hurt, but I will be quick. So this is OKR's second cycle when I got the feedback about Feature Factory. So I was shocked and I was motivated at the same time. In Sofia, we went through the workshop. We even involved the head of engineering of the team so that he really also motivated the engineering tech leads and the engineering counterparts as well. And this is the domain vision, mission, and strategy I brought. I highly aligned with the higher level partner pillar as well as the company vision. And finally, this is the latest OKR we are going through. Instead of me giving input from domain, given that they already have a partner pillar OKRs, I'm now empowering all the PMs and engineering tech leads together to bring up more realistic, achievable, yet aspirational OKRs. So this is a bit of journey. And now what I'm going to share with you is there are 4 superpowers that I got from this book, Measure What Matters. So I'm going to incorporate these superpowers into my learning. 1, focus. 2, alignment. 3, tracking. 4, stretching. So number 1, focus and commit to priorities. It sounds easier said than done, but less is more. So I'm very ambitious, actually. So at the beginning, when I went through the very first OKR process, I tried to create as many OKRs as possible. Like I think you saw these 6 objectives. I copied and I brought even more. But the more I tried to bring, the less we achieved, ironically. So that's how I changed my mindset. The sharper focus we had, the more achievement we made. So please make sure to focus on the important stuff. And I think also Megan mentioned, but keep repeating your message. It's been 6 months. I'm still evangelizing my vision, mission, and strategy everywhere. Although there are several stakeholders I presented several times, they still don't remember very well. Don't get discouraged. Keep repeating your message. It matters a lot. And you need to make your own OKR comrade people around you. I tried to go in a very timely manner. So at first, I tried to do everything by myself. It wasn't feasible. Then I started to build my OKR comrades, starting with my quartet team. So 1 from delivery, 1 from design, 1 from engineering. So we sit down regularly and see how the team is working like. Why is this team always updating with a product person? Why is this engineer always so quiet? Is he really understanding? Are we on the same page with where we want to go? So that's what we try to engage and do never shy away from having a catch-up frequently with your OKR comrades. Align and connect for teamwork. So smash silos with shared OKRs. I think I told you, so product and tech, we had very separate OKRs we had until last cycle. And finally, thanks to this co-creation process, we are starting to smash this silo. Still, we are not on the perfect phase yet, I believe, but this helps a lot. And also, active transparency matters a lot because now that we are sharing these OKRs on a Confluence page and it's all open, we are even leaving the comments, critiques, or correct, like a bit constructive comments in a public page. So we don't feel shameful to share that and see that and correct it together, but actually it helps us a lot to align with all these different stakeholders and also collaborators in terms of adjusting expectations and refining key results as well. And power of a bottom-up approach. Of course, I have a lot of high temptations every time to correct, involve like, this is not good, guys. This is not enough. This is not ambitious. But I try to nudge and empower rather than me just being a teacher with a red pen. So I'm trying to use this bottom-up approach. And this will actually bring more innovation and engagement as well. Okay, this is also eye-hurting. So some of the feedbacks I've got very lately from my collaborators. So design, product analysts, as well as another designers actually. Then at least out of 5 scale, from 1 to 5, 5 they are happy to keep joining. Then everyone scored 4. Still, I don't think everyone thinks we are doing amazing, but still I aim to have a 5 score from like most of people. And at least as you see here with the highlighted lines, people start to understand our priorities and they want to support us together. So this is the qualitative feedback we've got. Third one, track of accountability. So we didn't really have a culture of sharing failures before. And one new PM joined earlier this year. She shared a long message about product delays with learnings, and that really reminded everyone of importance of sharing these failures. And ever since then, leaders like me and heads, we are really actively sharing our mistakes, and we also nudge our engineers to take more risks and not be afraid of failing. Because failing fast and learning matters much more than undercommitting. So, of course, we don't judge about undercommitting, but we give a message to be bolder when it comes to OKRs. And monthly check-ins actually help us a lot. As actually Mega mentioned, we are also using this red, amber, green status. But instead of focusing on green status, we really dive into red items a lot. And we don't mind seeing more red. I think the bad signal is you see green everywhere. I think it's a really bad signal for the organization because you're not pushing hard enough and you're not going to move forward. So that's what we try to share the same message. Still, a lot of engineers don't want to commit much as our product people yet, but still this is the way we try to nudge them more. Proactively communicate its impact. Daniel Pink in the book called Drive, he said, the more people are engaged and motivated, the more progress you can make. So keep nudging the team, connecting their impact with the company's vision and success. And a bit of examples. So I shared these OKR guiding principles from the workshop, after the workshop, before the check-in. Guys, D-7, we need to update this. Let's be more efficient. Let's measure what matters. Still, I'm now trying this more with the OKR comrades, but this is kind of the proof I'm doing. In the OKR Confluence page, so every product and engineer tech leads update this part all together. So priority of objectives, key results. We even change this key result if that becomes obsolete or impractical. We can terminate it in midstream. That's totally fine. And then expected key result score and status, progress, and so on. Last one. So this is the hardest superpower I still find. We were hesitating a lot to come up with these aspirational OKRs. So FYI, committed OKRs are the ones you put 100% target completion level by the end of the cycle. Aspirational one, target completion doesn't matter. It can be 60%, 70%, it's fine, but the higher you aim for, we believe the more you can achieve. So that's what we try. At first, there was no aspirational OKRs at all when we did this workshop. We nudged our engineers. We will not judge you. It's not nothing to do with the performance evaluation at the end of the year. We aim higher. Then finally, we are seeing more aspirational OKRs which have 50 or 60% target completion level. And please craft compelling stories. One example I shared with my PM today as well. YouTube used to, now they are over a billion daily watching hour, but 4 years ago, everyone believed it was impossible. Then finally, they actually, the leadership shared the message, guys, it's even less than 20% of global television watching time. So you really need to share the message that it's achievable. Then actually they are over billion hour daily watching time, and also their daily views are even soaring as well. Last one, secure leadership's buy-in. Long story short, escalation is not recommended but required. So when you see any red flag, immediately bring attention from the leadership. That would make you towards success. Last but not least, ideas are easy, execution is everything. It will take time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So persevere and don't give up. That's what I wanted to share. Yes, thanks a lot.